We are talking 4 on page 341D from the homework. We were supposed to use quadratic formula to find the x-intercepts for this. Therefore, and you do have to have the quadratic formula memorized. A is equal to 1 because it's always the number in front of x squared. And if there's no number there, you assume it to be the number 1. If there's no x, then you would assume it to be 0. But if there's no number in front of it, you assume it to be 1. B is 7. C is 12. The quadratic formula is the opposite of B, plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. So we get a negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 7 squared minus 4 times 1 times 12 all over 2 times 1. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, multiplication first. So we get negative 7 plus or minus the square root. 7 squared, 7 times 7 is 49. Minus 4 times 1 times 12 is 48. 2 times 1 is 2. Next thing you do is you subtract under that square root sign. So negative 7 plus or minus the square root. 49 minus 48 is 1. The square root of 1, in case you never know what the square root is, that is kitty corner. So yellow button, square root button, 1, enter, and of course you would get 1. So negative 7 plus or minus 1 divided by 2. Again, just like with factoring, you should get 2 answers. So negative 7 plus 1 is a negative 6 divided by 2. Negative 7 minus 1 is a negative 8 divided by 2. Negative 6 divided by 2 is a negative 3. Negative 8 divided by 2 is a negative 4. All right, so F. A is 1. B is 3. C is 4. So negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Multiplication first. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. Subtraction next. 9 minus 16 is a negative 7. Square root. Square root of a negative 7 is not possible. So there are no x-intercepts. Just like the other unit, that graph still exists. There's just no x-intercepts for that graph. Keeping in mind that you need to have the quadratic formula memorized and how to use it by integrated math 3, we will then be dealing with the situation of the square root of negative numbers in integrated math 3. So make sure you have the quadratic formula. All right, so we've seen where we've got 2 solutions, where we get no solutions. Couple things to keep in mind. If B is a negative number, then you would have like negative 2. Then you would have a positive 2 plus or minus the square root. Negative 2 squared or positive 2 squared is the same answer. It is 4. So keep that in mind. If perchance we have a negative C, say C is a negative 3, then when we get into that, B squared minus 4AC. So when we multiply this out, put the minus sign, and then 4 times 1 times a negative 3 is a negative 12. So that will be b squared plus 12.